Hi. I'm here to speak. I have not really just sat down and just spoken in a long time. I was just watching a video by another Destonian, William Cuff, and I was inspired by a vlog he did recently wherein he simply spoke and reflected and just expressed himself, and within that, self-honestly having a look at himself and realizing things about himself, learning things about himself, discovering things, and it's obviously pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see what the Destonians are busy doing. It's amazing the level of self-intimacy and dedication that we are sort of striving for, pushing ourselves within. One thing I noticed in watching the video was that I have a tendency of looking around a lot when I do vlogs. So I wanted to do a vlog where I just look at the camera the whole time. I don't necessarily have any ideas about this or why I'm doing this, other than just to investigate it and by seeing who I am within the point of just speaking directly, looking at the camera the whole time. Initially I had a resistance actually to it, which is quite interesting, because I thought, oh no, I don't need to do that, that's limiting my expression. What if I need to? My body needs to do this. But I'm sort of realizing within that my body does not require to look in any other direction. My eyes don't require to look in any other direction. The only thing my eyes really require is to blink. They're indicating to me that the whole body as a whole is going to require sleep soon. So essentially I don't have anything to speak about. I'm really just here to establish myself within as this point of vlogging as purely speaking, purely expressing myself here in the moment as whatever is coming up. And nothing is coming up but fatigue at the moment. I've been through a pretty rough ride the last little while. Specifically the last few months. All my life, I could say. But specifically the last few months have been rough. There was a pattern, there was one particular addiction that I fell back into. And this was the kind of addiction, pattern, habit that when you fall into it, it becomes very, very difficult to kick. At least for me, it is. And I've been stuck in that time loop for quite some time, suffice it to say that it was like hell, like a kind of hell. It was a mental hell. Perhaps a physical hell too. I mean, my body was suffering. It was fascinating because this point of falling into this addiction was a point of me facing me alone, because here I was waiting for a reason to stop, like an intervention or a savior or even consequence, even like something big and bad to happen and blow up in my life to make me go, oh geez, I really gotta do this. Let me put you in here. So I was stuck in this, and the only point that actually began to bring me out of, well, a main point that began to bring me out of this was just how badly I was suffering, how badly the physical body was suffering, and that was in a way contrasting, because it is as if I had defined my reasons for doing process as more externalized reasons, and for instance, seeing the suffering of others, of those who have it worse than me on this earth in terms of their life experience. But within this principle of equality, it's fascinating because everybody really is suffering, whether you're the elite in this world or the destitute in this world. Everybody is suffering. Everybody is facing this point of self-abuse. And this point was mine and mine alone to face. The point of do I have the self-love? Do I have the self-respect? Do I have the self-will to stop abusing myself? And it had to very obviously get to this point. It was obviously hurting myself. I mean, addictions do start out as a fun thing, and even as they continue and you might end up hurting yourself, one can very easily still really believe they're enjoying themselves, but the experiences were like not even becoming, like, of being on the addiction and experiencing it, of getting with the addiction, getting what I wanted, were no longer becoming pleasant at all. It was like literally I knew every time I gave into this, I was hurting myself. It was like I was literally just taking a knife or something, plunging it into me. So it's been more, it's been cool to call it localize my process more in terms of myself and my more immediate reality. I mean, in the beginning in Destiny, we're given the greater context, the greater world context, and so we tend to, I found that tendency within myself to think big. But you know, this shit really is happening on a grassroots level. There's a process of accumulation. That's how it works, actually. It's not taking on the whole world as if it's just this one big point you can just tackle. It just doesn't work that way. Quite tired at this point, and there's not really much to say. I'm sort of losing direction. I'm fading and losing direction, but what I'm content to say, like satisfied with myself to say, comfortable to say, enjoying to say, is that I'm here. I'm here walking this process. I haven't completed anything. I may have realized the point, passed maybe a small milestone, we learned a few things, but this is really an ongoing thing, which is important to realize because that does account for why I would fall. You can't give up on yourself in this process, and during the times I was stuck in this time loop, there were definitely times that I wanted to give up. But understanding what I do, having learned and understood what I have, from and through destiny of this world, I simply saw that there was no way out. There was no giving up. Giving up is like impossible, because eventually you're going to face yourself. So there were times when it was like pushing my sanity. I mean, there were times I felt like I was just going nuts. And perhaps I was. So I would wonder, who am I? Who the fuck am I? I'm demon possessed. Is this really what I'm thinking? It is, but it can't be. And there were times where I really doubted myself that way. I thought, will I make it? Will I ever find a way out of this? Will anything ever change? I mean, it could be that, it seems to be that this was part of the learning experience and this was required. For me to realize and understand this point of it's about me and what I'm doing to myself and the consequences that I'm manifesting for myself and others in this world by not standing up, by not undertaking this process. And that's why I say with reverence how amazing it is what the Destonians are doing, because they're really standing no matter what. They're really pushing no matter what. They're really finding a way no matter what. No matter how unlikely it seems, no matter how much it seems that everything is against ourselves, no matter how impossible or just do it. You recognize the simplicity of the self-honesty of how fucked up this world is, and that's enough. We don't need reasons and bullshit stories and grand ideas about why we're doing what we're doing. It's absolute common sense, and this common sense is going to continue to knock at people's doors. Wake up! Until we let go of all the knowledge and information, all which we've accepted and allowed ourselves to become and exist as and believe of ourselves in this world.